Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all my Starry Night Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for April 2021. This is the first support for the Starry Night deck coming out in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ghost from the Past booster set. It's more of a control deck focusing on all the different light fairy monsters that are called the Starry Night monsters, and one of your big plays is getting out the Starry Night Starry Dragon, revolving around all the different level 4 Starry Night fairy monsters, going off of the play on words, or I'm guessing night, for them looking like knights as well. But it's an interesting deck. I didn't think I'd enjoy building this deck as much as I did, with, like I said, just the main play style being to basically have control on how many monsters can be summoned out, and going off of the destruction power that Starry Dragon has. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the Starry Night monsters, I'm running 2 Starry Night, Starry Dragon. I know that this card was your boss monster in the deck, but you really only need 2 with all the recycle power you have with your other Starry Night monsters revolving around these plays. So very, very useful for that setup with this card, only using these numbers with it. Basically, the card says if this card is normal or special summon from your hand, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. It cannot be destroyed by battle with a dark monster or by a dark monster's effect. And once per turn, at the start of damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster until the end phase. Also, this card can make a second attack in a row. So having 2,500 attack makes for a true powerhouse altogether as well. So very, very useful there for that setup. And like I said, you can rely on this card with just a bunch of other different setup, with your other Starry Night monsters being the key focus for this play, with some of the other Starry Night monsters being, and I, like I said, love the play on words for the fact that it says Starry Night, like they're knights. 3 Starry Night Rael. With this one, when this card is normal summon, you can add 1 Starry Night spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 Starry Night monster in your graveyard except Starry Night Rael, and special summon it. You can only use the effect of Starry Night Rael once per turn. So 1 being the search power for your Starry Night spell and traps. We have a good number of different ones that we run in the deck. This search power definitely does come in handy, and why this card is a 3 of in the deck, just for that consistency of being able to add all the different cards from your deck off of this play, and also having special summon power for your other Starry Night monsters. With this card, you also have to remember that your Starry Night Starry Dragon has Night in its name as well, with the other card being able to target a Starry Night monster beginning with the letter K, but still 3 just for the easy search power for these spell and traps. I also run 3 Starry Night Estelle. With this card, quick effect, you can target 1 light monster you control, tribute it. If you do special summon 1 level 7 light dragon monster from your hand, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 level 7 light dragon monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use this effect of Starry Night Estelle once per turn. So the main play with this, obviously, is just to boost up the power of your Starry Night Starry Dragon, already at 2,500 attack, and basically it cannot be destroyed involving any dark attribute monsters on the field. Putting it at 3,500 makes it all the better, and just the investment you'll use with Starry Night Estelle on the field for that card. And then the last of the Starry Night monsters we have currently, and I think we are getting some more cards for this deck in the Lightning Overdrive set, so definitely can't wait until then. But 2 Starry Night Flamel. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send this card from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard to special summon 1 level 7 light dragon monster from your hand. Quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard to target 1 level 7 light dragon monster you control or in your graveyard and return it to your hand. You can only use 1 Starry Night Flamel effect per turn, only once that turn. So this is the consistency, basically, to recycle Starry Night Starry Dragon back from your graveyard to your hand. I only run the 2 of it in the deck because you have to have Starry Night Starry Dragon already set up in the graveyard to use. So being able to rely on that is a key play on why, having this one later on isn't as needed for sure. For some of the other fairy monsters that I run, just for consistency in the deck, I run 2 Honest. Just having more power boost plays if your opponent somehow does, find a way to swing over the Starry Night Starry Dragon. Being able just to drop Honest on them can make it hit for some pretty big numbers against your opponent monsters, and also be, potentially the game-winning play against them. And then also I run 1 Barrier Statue of Heavens. With all these cards being light fairy, I decided to run Ties of the Brethren in the deck just to get out more summons onto the field. A lot of these summons come in handy as well for just more setup afterwards when you summon these cards onto the field. So having the option to also shut your opponent out of other special summons aside from light monsters is why I like to run this 1 card in the deck. with the last of the monsters in the main deck just being the hand trap of choice, which is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. With Ash Blossom, you basically have the option just for shutting down your opponent's graveyard plays or searching from the deck. So very, very useful just to run 3 Ash Blossom in the deck. If you didn't want to run this card, you can always run Effect Veiler, Ghost Ogre, also Nibiru for more of the control play of the deck if your opponent were to go for some bigger summons, but it's player preferences at that point also. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. For the field spell, I'm running 2 Starry Night Sky. Now, once again, these spell and traps are searchable with our Starry Night monsters. That's why I'm only running the 2 of the field spell. With this card during your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Starry Night monster or 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. And during your turn, if a face-up level 7 Light Dragon monster you control returns to the hand, you can draw 1 card. You can only use each effect of Starry Night Sky once per turn. So that recycle power is meant to go off of the fact that you will be adding back your Starry Night, Starry Dragon back to your hand to reuse off of some of your other Starry Night monsters like Starry Night Flamel. So that recycle power will not only add a dragon back to your hand, but also give you more draw power to make use of also. I also run potentially 3. I have the 1 Starry Night Sky, just filling in the spot for it. But the continuous spell, Starry Night Ceremony. During your main phase, you can reveal 1 Light Fairy monster in your hand. If you do add 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster from your deck to your hand, then place the revealed monster on the bottom of your deck. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster from your hand, and you can only use 1 Starry Night Ceremony effect per turn, only once that turn. So even if you already have the dragon in your hand, you just have an easy way to special summon it onto the field with this card. That's why I run 3 of it. Being able to add that card back with all the different Starry Night monsters just gives us consistency for special summoning it back onto the field, and we don't normally even have to use the first effect if we already have it in our hand to use. With the last of the Starry Night spells being 3 Starry Night Balefire, you add 1 Starry Night monster or 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Then if you control no monsters and your opponent controls a dark monster, you can special summon 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster from your hand. So 1, this card is a searcher. That's why I'm running 3 of it, but also the fact that if your opponent is running a dark attribute monster, which being a good amount of the different monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's a good chance that'll happen, giving you the additional special summon of your level 7 dragon monster, which is Starry Night Starry Dragon. That's the key play with this deck. It's just going off of what your opponent may have on the field and what you have the best option for you to summon onto the field as well. With the last couple numbers of the spells being 3 Ties of the Brethren, this card is just great for that setup. Being able to basically use this card if you have one of your Starry Night monsters on the field, you can then use Ties of the Brethren to special summon Honest onto the field, and the additional barrier statue, not only shutting your opponent out of the special summons, but then being able to return Honest to your hand to protect both of these monsters on the field by dropping it from your hand to gain the additional attack boost of the Honest and your opponent's attacking monster. And then lastly, for the one-ofs, I run 1 Call by the Grave and 1 Terraforming. If you have the Terraforming, you can easily just search out the field spell and then use your Starry Night option for searching with your different monsters for Rael on the normal summon. For some of the other Starry Night spells, like I said, being able just to add one of the spell searchers, Balefire with Rael, makes it all the better. So Terraforming, having that additional search definitely will come in handy. And that is it for the spells. We'll now move on to the traps. I run 2 Starry Night Arrival. This continuous trap, I may even consider bumping this card up to 3. If you were to do so, you can take out some of the other trap lineup. With this card, during your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. You target 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster you control, return it to the hand, or you can special summon 1 level 7 Light Dragon monster from your hand. So depending on the option, and like I said, Starry Night, Starry Dragon is your main go-to play monster. I believe it will be getting some other dragons in the Lightning Overdrive booster set, but still just having this option to target a card on the field and destroy it. So with Starry Night Arrival, you will want to bounce it back to your hand to reuse this card again with both of these options. And it's just during the main phase, so being able to target the light level 7 dragon monster and return it during your opponent's turn, and then also use the special summon during your turn, gives you the return power on your opponent's turn, and then special summon power on your turn for that destruction play. Running 3 of it, like I said, could be ideal, so you always have this card set up, but it's also searchable with cards like Rael. I also run 2 Starry Night Blast. This can be another potential card to take out for a third copy of Starry Night Arrival, but player preference at that point. When your opponent activates a card or effect, return a level 7 light dragon you control to the hand and negate that effect. And if you do destroy that card, you can activate 1 Starry Night Blast per turn. So with this, it's destruction play, but more going off of the still bounce power. You can work very, very well with Arrival, being able to bounce it and, negate a card with Starry Night Blast, and then special summon it with Arrival on the field, comboing very well for more back row, and then just more protection against your opponent. And with you having Light Barrier on the field, you won't really limit your own special summon, since you're really only going to be special summoning out a light monster onto the field thanks to your light attribute restriction with that card. For more of the trap lineup, I also run 3 Solemn Strikes. Aside from the Ties from the Brethren, you don't really use life for much else in the deck, and you really only want to go for 1 Ties of the Brethren anyway, because that'll be your setup on the field. So then just being able to have this back row as well against your opponent definitely means a big setup for the Solemn Brigade. So 3 Solemn Strike. And I also run 2 Solemn Judgment. I decided not to run Warning. I just don't like it as much in the deck for the plays that you can just do with Solemn Judgment and Solemn Strike, with the last of the trap lineup just being 2 Summon Limit. Once again, the main summon should just be 1 of your Starry Night monsters, whether it be for just setup or going into your Starry Night Starry Dragon. With those 2 summons, that's really all you need, and Summon Limit can really shut down your opponent's plays depending on the deck you're going up against. And that is it for the main deck. When I move on to the extra deck, I run 2 Star Liege Paladinimo. When you do go into the extra deck, you have plenty of light options, and with the majority of the cards in your main deck being level 4 monsters, rank 4 exceeds light monsters will help, because the barrier statue will limit you from some other extra deck plays. So being able to use this card for draw power and just getting over some of your opponent's more pesky cards is a big plus there. Also, 1 number 39 Utopia and 1 Utopia the Lightning, just for the bigger light power plays. Also 1 Bujinte Tsukuyomi for discard draw power, 1 Stellar Knight Deltaros for more destruction plays, and for more of the generic Xyz monsters, 1 Baguska, 1 Tornado Dragon, and 1 Abyss Dweller for the rest of the Xyz. Most of the time I'll go into the light attribute ones the most, but it's nice to have some added backup options also. For the Link monsters, I run 2 Hip Hoshinengen. This just goes off of more recycle power you can do when you use this card for a Link summon, and then it's sent to the graveyard. And for the other Link monsters, I run 1 Barricade Board Blocker with the continuous spell, and the field spell we run this deck. This card's great recycle power for both of those, or if our opponent does destroy them early on in the game. Also 1 Nightmare Cerberus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. You don't really go into the links as often, but I like to have all of them as options available if we need to. And that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, this deck will definitely be getting some updates in the future. I believe we have some cards in Lightning Overdrive, so when we get that support especially, I'll definitely be looking forward to it. And until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.